So today on the podcast, I have got Finula Crowe from New Day Originals, who has been on the podcast. Is this your third time? Third time lucky on International Women's Day.
We did, oh my God, we did a wardrobe detox. Do you remember? It was during lockdown.
Yes.
And then we did one just a few months ago.
I think it might be. She's a regular on the podcast. I love having Finn on here. Thank you, Finn, for coming on again.
My full name is Finula, so I've got a very Irish name, but yeah.
So on this day today, I just thought I'd talk about trusting your gut when it comes to your wardrobe, because there's so much distraction out there. Until you work out what really works for you, what you love, then you're not going to get a really sustainable wearable wardrobe. So that is something that we want to touch on today as well, is how to get a really wearable wardrobe and get more from the clothes that you have in your wardrobe. Because Finn has done a live on her Instagram today, New Day Originals, all around this, because people want to know how to wear things, how they can wear things differently, and really feel comfortable in what they wear, but stylish as well. So comfort mixed with style is really, really important to get right. And, I think people need to trust their gut instinct more about what they love. And then I think you get less distracted by all the noise and all the, influencers and everything else. And you can just drill down more on the things that you love. This has come about really from an article in The Guardian that I saw that was taken out of context. They used the title floral midi dresses are over for this year. And it's such nonsense, because all of us love, most people love to wear something comfortable and stylish, and that's what ticks the box. A beautiful pattern, a lovely dress. If that's your style, go for it, with trainers or with boots or with heels. They're versatile. So I just wondered if you read that, what you thought about that.
I mean, I saw Lisa's post on her Facebook or something talking about that, and I actually WhatsApped you, or I messaged you and said, how very dare you? But and not just because I have a lot of printed dresses in my collection, but because I suppose I loathe that mindset that we must be on trend. And one of the things I talk about a lot in my socials and when I do a live is how to pick a couple of little things. It could just be a necklace or a belt, which mine is on my chair. I've just run in and I've taken it off, or a pair of boots or something, or shoes or strap sandals, or a new a belt in the season's biggest hue. It could be lilac this season, and how that can be enough to update your wardrobe to something else. And I also think, slavishly following trends is a thing of the past, and B, and you talk about this a lot, a new trend won't always suit you, know. So for example, I think saying, printed dresses are like last year and they're all out now. It's a bit like saying to me that skinny jeans are out now, because skinny jeans, in my view, are the most flattering style on me. And even though, on good advice, I have gone and tried, thanks to Lisa, because you were really good on the whole jean thing, I've tried other styles, and I've even bought a pair of flares. I don't feel like I look really good in them, and you might think I look good in them, but because I don't feel like I look good in them, I don't wear them, and so now they're a waste. So I really believe in tapping into and really knowing what suits you is much more sustainable. I also think it's a bit unimaginative, isn't it? Just following a trend for trend's sake, and often looks ridiculous.
Absolutely. I mean, I think body shape's really, really important. I did see another stylist mention actually recently in her newsletter that she thought body shape wasn't important, but I think it's one of the most important things. to feel body confident in the clothes, you know, and that's sort of with jeans, I think that comes into play hugely. You know, even, you know, it's how you feel in that, if you feel comfortable. So we're going back to that comfortable thing. You've got to feel comfortable in your clothes. And I think this is why dresses are so popular, why people love them so much, is because it's that you feel comfortable, but you still feel a bit dressed up. You know, you still feel a bit glam. You look like you've made an effort. I just wanted to clarify on that. So the article I'm talking about, it was the head of design at John Lewis. If you're listening outside the UK, John Lewis is kind of, it's more of an everyman department store. So it's not like a high-end one like Harrods or Selfridges or Harvey Nichols. It's more kind of you know, it competes, I think, with Marks and Spencer's, and though in that kind of mid-market area. But what they were saying was, because that was the headline they used, but actually when you read the article, they just said they're changing their prints up from ditzy prints, ditzy florals, into more kind of geometric, you know, all those sorts of stronger, bolder prints, and also moving a lot towards tailoring. Yeah, so you've got bold florals in your collection, lots of different prints, you know, leopard print and animal print is considered a bit more, it's like a neutral now, that for a lot of people. And these dresses are a wardrobe staple. So, you know, it's definitely a wardrobe staple. But the tailoring thing I just wanted to talk to you about, because a law firm has written a letter to all their staff, a huge law firm, Verdag's London law firm, Vardags, instructed staff to ditch the suits and channel Annabelle's, the exclusive Mayfair nightclub. So we're getting loads of messages from everywhere. Tailoring's in, blah, blah, and then this big...
you know, particularly for the international people, isn't that kind of a club?
Yeah, so it's an exclusive Mayfair club. You wouldn't get in if you were wearing jeans, shorts. You can't wear a t-shirt unless you've got a tailored jacket over the top. You know, there are rules there, and I think they say in Annabelle's, they say you need to dress, this is it, smart, elegant attire. That's the dress code, and that's what this law firm is saying its staff need to wear. Now, I think that's confusing.
So floaty dresses, I mean, I've been seeing this trend for a while, in that I have quite a few customers who actually do work in corporate, and I used to work in corporate. And, you know, I used to wear, you know, kind of quite smart skirt, quite tailored shirt, and a blazer. That was pretty much my uniform. Or if I was wearing a dress, it would be, you know, quite a kind of a smart dress. I was a CMO. I was a head of marketing in the corporate world, and definitely a bit more conservative, and definitely like a little heel, you know, or a big heel, but like a court shoe, closed shoe. You know, that was kind of how I dressed. And I was in quite a creative environment. So I know people who even like were a bit more pinstriped and white shirted with stiff collars. And so I got away with being a little bit more casual. Now, those very same former colleagues of mine are wearing my dresses. And I'll tell you one person, and she does follow you actually. Her name is Sarah Atkins.
Yes, yes.
She was actually my boss, you know, many moons ago. She hates when I say that, actually. She goes, I was not your boss. But, you know, anyway, she was my boss. I did report to her. And she actually wears a lot of my collection now. She's just bought this dress in a kind of a geometric blueprint, and she said, you know, she's just going to put one of her smart blazers on that, and probably some days like a flat shoe, even a trainer, or a lovely flat loafer. Whereas before, Sarah always wore pretty much matching jacket, matching skirt, because she was in really senior roles, and she works for a membership organization that is, to be fair, quite conservative. And so she wears an awful lot of dresses now to work, some of mine, some of others. And then for a meeting, maybe with a client or a director, she might throw a blazer like this on over it and just, you know, smarten it up. But then, you know, it doesn't mean that she hasn't got control, you know, like any seniority, or she's unprofessional if she's in just a nice floaty dress for the day. She spoke at an event recently wearing one of my dresses, one of my like shirt dresses. So yeah, I think that kind of corporate tight jacket suit look has definitely died a death, and I have a lot of my clients now wearing kind of dresses cleverly.
Yeah, and that's why it's such a versatile piece in the wardrobe. It's a perfect mix. It's smart casual.
Lisa as well, like I think you can be more individual with your look, whereas a navy suit is a navy suit. Like it's quite hard to personalize that and show off your personality in kind of very corporate uniform, whereas you can definitely, like if I was still a CMO, this would be perfectly acceptable, including
chunky boots. I mean, yeah, I mean, so this is what this, you know, the law and the more formal, traditional kind of professions have been quite behind in saying to their staff, you can be smart casual. They've sort of stuck in the formal side. So this email that was sent round, you know, has sort of been a bit shocking to people. And I think they're sort of hardwired, a lot of the lawyers, to still wear their suits. But definitely, you know, you can then look a bit dated. But the book that I was going to mention I'm reading is called Big Dress Energy, which is amazing. She's coming on the podcast hopefully soon. But she
wow.
just describes how, so she's called Shakayla Forbes Bell is the author, but she describes how if you wear all formal clothes, you look unapproachable. You look authoritative. You have a strong look. But if you wear casual clothes, you look soft, approachable, more fun, and you've brought some personality to your look. But if you mix the two together, that's smart casual. So you've got your, you know, your personality, the dress, a bit more modern, and then you're smartening it up with a bit of tailoring. And I think a bit of tailoring in the workplace is really essential. I just think it brings it all together. And that's the epitome really of smart casual. I was going to ask you actually, what would you wear to Annabelle's then, that dress code? What would you?
I honestly don't know. Like I always think of Annabelle's like a bit more glitzy. That's why it kind of surprises me, like a bit more, you know, halter neck kind of, but like this is going back a bit, but like a bit more kind of, you know, halter neck sequiny top with, you know, maybe, you know, some nice, as you say, tailored trousers or tailored jeans. But then again, when I think about it, I could probably see people in Annabelle's swishing around in beautiful Rixo dresses, for example, you know, really kind of, you know, really cool. It's a bit more cool now to wear sort of, you know, a midaxy sort of, you know, slip dress or floral dress. So I imagine that's what you would see in Annabelle's now. We must go, Lisa.
I would love to go.
I did field research.
I don't know if they'd let me in. Could we put it on expenses, do you think?
Not my expenses, but someone's
definitely. We'll work it out. It's a work research trip, definitely. Now, basically in the article, she does say, be your fabulous selves. Wear what she said, if that means wearing something gold, wear it. But I can't imagine the lawyers are going to start doing that. I mean, I think it's a bit of a step too far, but it's just showing how we're, you know, it's interesting. There is going to be a lot more tailoring in the shops this season.
You know what? The pennies just dropped a bit on that, not meaning to go all kind of, you know, society and stuff. But I'm thinking about this in a legal division. I was thinking of a lawyer I used to work with in one of my old jobs. And because she got paid so much more than most of us, she always had like Roland Mouret dresses and Hervé Leger stuff and Louboutin shoes. And, you know, she was wearing the same as us. We were all quite smart and booted and suited, but my suits were from Warehouse or Oasis and, you know, that kind of thing. And so it almost levels things out, doesn't it? It's kind of now, if it's about a floral dress, do you know what? You can get a really lovely floral dress, even a sustainable one, for like, you know, 60, 70 pounds. You don't need to go out and have loads of money. So it's almost democratizing or taking the hierarchy out of, you know, the senior people on their 6-figure salaries versus, you know, maybe someone who's on an internship on, a minimum wage, that suddenly it's actually about creativity and style and how how to put yourself together. And it's no longer about sort of how much you can spend on an Armani suit. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think that's really good, obviously, because people, it's more about your personality, bringing your personality to work, like you say, democratizing it. But I think for some people, that's going to be their idea of hell, because they haven't got creativity. They will be yearning for the days when you just threw on a suit and put on a,
But then there's so much content out there, Lisa, like that there wasn't before. So before, you might pick up, say, the Sunday Times magazine and maybe get some kind of, style tips, or, if there was a good columnist in there, you might get a little bit of styling tips. And then there was good old Trini and Susanna and Gokwan, this is back kind of in the noughties, or even, probably the early noughties, and on a bit. Now, you can follow, there's so much style information out there. I mean, there's the likes of yourself with a great Facebook group where it's not just your posts, but your members post in there. There's, any brand worth their salt. There's loads of sort of freelance stylists. I have a lady I follow a lot called Emily Style. She's London based. She's got lots of clients who don't necessarily have massive budgets, but definitely need help getting their wardrobe together. And so, if you're the person who always loved the fact that they could hide behind their black two-piece suit and change into their Charles Stewart shirt 5 days a week, and on rotation change those shirts, sure, it's a nightmare, but it's not impossible. You'd be surprised, if you're put to the task, what you can uncover about yourself. I mean, from getting a proper stylist like you, but right down to just listening to the free content out there and hitting upon a couple of stylists or a couple of influencers who align to maybe an undiscovered hidden style that you have.
Something that you haven't explored. I mean, you could come up with a uniform, you could come up with an easy, but just a couple of smart separates that work for you. But this is what I sort of said at the beginning, and this is what we were saying. It's really important to just work out what you love as a person. So you don't have to be wearing something brightly coloured to, if that's on trend and all of that, because perhaps you're more of a neutral person. Then in that case, stick to your neutrals. Do you need a bit of tailoring to feel pulled together? Just try and drill down a bit on what you love and trust your gut instinct.
Well, it's a bit of a throwaway thing to say. There is a sense of have fun with it. Let yourself, look around maybe your own interiors to get cues for what you really like. I mean, it's probably easier for you and I, because look, you only have to look at my background, my wallpaper, to know that, I'm a colorful person. But a lot of people put themselves in this box unnecessarily, and they go, I'm not creative, I'm not stylish, I have no clue. And the next thing, you walk into their house and you see some really quirky stuff, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know you were into collecting vintage photos. And next thing, there's a whole conversation where actually they would feel brilliant in more vintage style clothing, or even to shop vintage and wear that kind of stuff. They never really knew that about themselves. So you've got to look for cues everywhere in your life. What you like doing personally often gives you cues for how you might like to dress and what you might feel comfortable in, but you somehow got in a rut of, wearing a navy suit every day. Don't be limited. And also, we all want to fit in. That's like a really human thing. So it's about fitting in as well. So at work, I think, people limiting themselves, thinking I couldn't wear that, is probably because they're scared of what others might think of them. But that's why exploring it. But like, that's a great tip, what you're saying. Look around. What's your house like? Is it quite classic? Are you quite traditional? What's your taste?
where does your taste lie? Do you like a bold pattern? What are you drawn to? Are you a bit more earthy? You know, there are definitely clues.
Or when you go on holidays, what do you wear on holidays? Because look, you don't wear a navy suit when you're on holiday. Is your holiday wardrobe more colorful? Well, why are you partitioning it if you've been given the go ahead, if you're a lawyer, an accountant in one of these big pro firms, or even in any firm? Why are you kind of boxing that off into only on holidays? I'm not saying go around in a, you know, in a floaty, you know, mini dress or anything, but I'm just saying take your cues from what you feel great on in when you're on holidays, or when you're, you know, hanging out on the weekend, and then try and bring elements of that into your wardrobe.
And you can be taken seriously wearing something other than a suit. You don't have to, it's not just limited to that. You know, you're not, it's not the only serious people, or the only people who are good at their jobs wear suits.
I have to think in this day and age in particular,
Exactly.
you know, where we're embracing the, you know, the non-binary kind of gender, you know, the he, she, it, they. I most certainly would like to think that how you dress is becoming less and less important to how seriously you are taken.
And that's a big point to think about. I'm just going to finish off with, I just want to talk through a bit of what you've got new in your collection, but also Mother's Day is coming up, and I think you've got an offer.
Mother's Day, that's, you know, Mother's Day is an interesting one because a lot of people don't have their mums around, or maybe don't, you know, aren't mums themselves. I'm a stepmom. There should be, you know, definitely recognition for stepmoms, or godmoms, or doggy mums, or cat mums. I'm
Yes.
cat. But yeah, what we did for Mother's Day, and I don't have them around, but these gorgeous artisan maids, and I'm doing this because they're literally, I measured it yesterday, it's 48 centimeters
Oh, okay.
wide,
Yeah.
38 centimeters tall. And they're these amazing, I think they're going to be amazing beach bags because they're not so heavy. So you can wrap them up in your bag really squishy, even though they're quite padded. Carry load stuff in them. So they're these lovely hand quilted, hand printed, sustainable bags. You'll have to go onto my website to look at them, but there are tote bags, and we're giving those with every purchase, as long as while stocks last, for 20 quid, and they're normally 45, and they make such a lovely gift for mom, or you can keep it for yourself. And they match our kind of kimonos. And
let's talk about the dresses. Yes, so you've got some new dresses in the collection now. You do all sorts of prints. It's all sustainable. It's all sustainable fabrics. It's really, you're really all about.
And you know, I love to see the rise of the, you know, use of dresses, and people are wearing them all year round. Definitely every time I take pen to paper and draw a dress or think one up in my mind, I am thinking of at least 3 ways, but mostly about 10 ways and occasions you can wear that dress from, you know, to occasion, to beach, to whatever. Anyway, a lot of what we're kind of doing at the moment is getting ready for summer. We do a lot of block printing. This was not deliberately there, but a lot of what we do is block printing, which is a very elegant kind of and very unique sort of design. So the big high street guys can't block print because you really can only do it in quite small quantities because it's done by hand. And then we're also, this is Dee Dee here beside me. So this is our latest arrival, and I've got her on in this very pretty, on in this lovely peony print. They're kind of a bit zany, and the colors, I think the tones are really beautiful. This is Olive Grove, and then we've done this really nice one that I think is perfect for corporate, because I think it looks lovely with navy blazer over it and stuff, but it's a lovely geometric blueprint. And then we make kind of everything just, look, I'll be honest, and I hate using this language, but if you're feeling a little bit like I hate something, I'm, you know, crushing my waist, or, you know, my weight fluctuates according to my cycle or according to the seasons or whatever the case may be. We make all of our clothing just a little bit looser on the waist. This one's just very lightly elasticated. And then we also make everything to ensure they fit smaller busts. And also if you've got a bigger bust and you don't want your cleavage on show, you just give it a little pull here and it still looks really stylish. So anyway, look, best thing, I mean, I have dozens and dozens of designs, but yeah, just check them out.
For a small sustainable business, and you know you're getting something more original as well than the big guys, like you've mentioned about the block printing. So you know you only do small
24 to 30 of these made, each of these made. That's it. There's no possibly, get dress clash, as I like to call it.
Yeah, it's a really unique. So, you know, Rixo, I love Rixo, but it can be, you know, that sort of, you could turn up at a wedding, there's a couple of people in it maybe.
I love Rixo, like we're great for Rixo, but I'm really nervous about buying it for weddings. But if someone from Rixo wants to correct me on that, please do.
Yes, if someone wants to correct me, please do. Yeah, it's a bit of a sweeping statement. To be honest. Go and check out New Day Originals to see the new collection, sustainable fashion, and listen to your gut when it comes to your style. Bring some personality and have fun with it, because fashion is supposed to be fun. It's one of the joyful parts of life.
It definitely is.
Definitely is. Right, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I'm looking forward to reading that book. That sounds amazing. Your guest who's going to be on next week.
Yes, big dress energy. It's really good. Thanks so much. Thanks, Finn.
Bye, Lisa. Bye, everyone.